I was an asshole for decades. Every city we'd go in, I don't want to go into the bad jokes, but if it moved, you're looking at it.
I absolutely love this view, mostly knowing how entrepreneurial you were as a child. I read that you were poor, dirt poor, you said, and it would be growing up on bread and milk, and that you would sell fruit on the roadside with an old friend. How does it feel for you to then give your children a complete different way of life? Do you think that they have had a shortcut versus everything you had to overcome to become?
Well, as a grown-up, luckiest day for me is when I met Shannon, who I've been with for 38 years. I met her when she was 1. See what I did there? That's like a female joke. Women go, oh, he's nice. He was making a nice age joke. We have 2 kids that we know of. That was another joke. Both Nick and Sophie are superb human beings, much more profoundly ethical and bright in ways that Shannon and I will never be. And that's what you want. You want your kids to be the next step in evolution, smarter, brighter, and all that stuff. And they both have music careers. They're both off on their own, very successful. Sophie's gotten awards, and she's co-written with deadmau5 and Rick Ross and all kinds of people. And Nick's music I'm not allowed to talk about, but he's very successful. He doesn't want any association for, oh, that guy's kid. But it bears noting, they've never had an allowance. This idea that you give your kids money every week for nothing is insanity. For what? Imagine when they get to be 18 or 20 years old, their hand is still out there. Who's going to give me money for doing nothing? So you had chores. You mow the lawn or you do the thing, here's 50 cents. Learn the value. And I told them, written down actually, it's a kind of a contract between us. If I catch you doing bad stuff to society, rob, stealing, all that stuff, hurting people, or if you decide on your own to start using crack and all this kind of stuff, you'll never see a penny. Simple idea. And if I can, under the legal system, I will set up a situation where you'll be hauled off to a desert camp where you have to get up every day and work or you don't eat. They exist. Tough love is the only love. When I was a kid, if I misbehaved, my mother would haul back, lock her arms, and just smack me till it hurt all the way to my toes. And that brought the attention of it. Nowadays, you can't hit your kids. But strict no means no. And that's unfortunately no longer the case. Tough love. Moms and dads need to step up and be parents and not friends, and don't negotiate with your kids. They haven't even learned how to wipe their asses, much less understand what they're doing. They will falter and they need you for guidance. So Nick and Sophie are so much better human beings, or at least that I will ever be. I remember stepping out of, we have a comfortable house, a few of them, okay? And I was coming out on a sunshiny day, and there was a line of ants going to eat some dead locust or something. And I wasn't watching where I was going, and I almost stepped on the line of ants. And my son ran over and grabbed me with both arms and pulled me off. Wow, what happened? What happened? Dad, look down. I'm going, I'm sorry. Yeah. That's good. That's a good sign.
And you speak about your loving wife and how many years you've been together, but you're more recently married than for most people would say that was later on in the stage of your relationship.
Of course.
What was the deciding moment of you've been together for maybe 25 years or so, and then you say
you're very kind. Now let me tell you exactly the way it is. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I grew up as an only child. My father left us when I was about 6 or 7 years old, and my perception of marriage and men was forever changed, let's say. I didn't want to become my father, abandoning the family. So I promised myself I'd never do that. On the other hand, I was scared to death of having kids and responsibility or getting married. I'm in a band. Imagine being on a diet and living in a bakery where you can smell the cake. I was an asshole for decades. Every city we'd go in, I don't want to go into the bad jokes, but if it moved, you're looking at it. You can argue that it's the nature of man that we manufacture hundreds of millions of sperm every day. We don't take Tuesdays off, so either it's a mistake in our creation, or I'll do the joke, we're just doing the Lord's work, spread thy seed. I know. But I was an asshole for the longest time, while Shannon and I were together. And she gave us 2 kids. I didn't work for it. She had to carry both kids for 8 months and stuff, and literally raise them. Nick, in particular, had a perfect attendance record for the first 5 years. They gave him an award. He'd come in sick, he wouldn't go in every day. And men are stupid. We're much dumber than women. Arrogant, self-obsessed. Where are you going? Where am I going? Who's asking? We want that. If you take a look at the simple story, we're raised by our mothers and our fathers, but mostly by our mothers. And as soon as you're old enough to go solo, another woman comes into your life and tells you what to do. So you have that pullback like, hey, I'm free. What are you, my mother? That's a phrase we've all heard. But we're stupid enough not to understand that women are smarter than we are. They understand what life is all about. They make life. They make children. Often it's better for you to just shut your pie hole and listen more because women know more. So I know they think I'm saying this for effect. Been there, done that. And when I turned 62 or so, we were shooting our TV show. We used to have a reality show called Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. 167 episodes in 8 years, as a matter of fact. And we were in Belize it or not. And I remember being on a wharf or something. There's water, and they're filming some kind of thing. And I remember dropping to my knees and begging Shannon to marry me. She didn't wanna. I put up with a lot of crap, and why are you ready to, But the fact that she stuck by my sorry ass for decades and decades and decades either makes her the angel of all time, or some of her friends are saying, what? Couldn't you take a hint the first year? Yeah, because if I was Shannon, I would drop my sorry ass the very first year. But how amazing she is, well, what can I say? She's so smart that this ring, I don't know if you can do a close-up, we'll do a close-up later, is actually too small for my finger, and I literally cannot take it off. There's a wound. You cannot take this off. I shower with it, I poop with it, I sleep with it. It's not going anywhere. Smart girl. Did I answer your question?
Perfect.
Yeah, you're very kind, but let's call it for what it is. Even Jesus hung out with a prostitute. It's just the nature of the beast.